Imagine walking alone at night, the streets eerily silent. Suddenly, a woman appears before you, her face hidden behind a mask. She steps closer and whispers, "Am I beautiful?"
Am I beautiful?
Yes, you are beautiful.
Even now?
What would you do? This isn't just a nightmare. It's the chilling legend of Kukase Kana, the slit-mouthed woman, a vengeful spirit from Japan who stalks the night, asking her victims a single question, a question with no right answer. But that's just one of the many terrifying legends we'll uncover today. From cursed beasts in the deserts of America to haunted highways in Asia, prepare yourself for 10 of the darkest myths that still haunt the world. The full story. The slit-mouthed woman, Kukase Kana. In the dark corners of Japanese folklore, there exists a chilling tale that has struck fear into the hearts of many for centuries. The legend of Kukase Kana, or the slit-mouthed woman, is one of the most terrifying urban legends to come out of Japan, and her story continues to haunt people to this day. The origins of Kukase Kana. The story begins long ago, during Japan's Heian period, 79-41185. According to legend, Kukase Kana was once a beautiful woman married to a powerful samurai. Her beauty was unparalleled, and she was deeply admired. However, her vanity became her downfall. The woman was unfaithful to her husband, seeking the attention of other men. When her husband discovered her betrayal, his rage was uncontrollable. In a fit of jealousy and fury, he attacked her, slashing her face from ear to ear with his sword, leaving her mouth grotesquely disfigured. As she lay dying, he mocked her, saying, "Who will think you're beautiful now?" Her spirit, consumed by anger and pain, refused to move on. Instead, she returned as a vengeful ghost, forever wandering in search of validation and revenge. The encounter with Kukase Kana. The legend states that Kukase Kana roams the streets of Japan, especially at night, preying on unsuspecting victims. She wears a surgical mask, a common sight in Japan, making her seem unremarkable at first glance. When she encounters someone walking alone, she stops them and asks, "Am I beautiful? Watashi kirii?" If the person answers yes, she removes her mask, revealing her gruesome, disfigured mouth with jagged teeth and a terrifying, permanent smile. She then asks again, "Even now?" If the person says no or screams in horror, she kills them on the spot, often with a pair of scissors she carries. If they say yes again, she doesn't let them go. Instead, she slashes their face from ear to ear, leaving them with a smile like hers. The escape, if you dare. Over time, people began to share strategies to escape her wrath. Some believe that giving a vague answer, like "you're average" or "thoso," confuses her, giving the person time to escape. Others claim that throwing candies or coins distracts her, as her ghostly form is strangely fixated on shiny objects. Another method involves asking her a question in return, such as, "Do you think I'm beautiful?" This reportedly throws her off balance, giving the victim a chance to flee. Modern-day sightings. Kokusei Kana's legend remains alive in Japanese culture, with reported sightings as recently as the 1970s. During this time, a wave of panic swept through Japan, as people claimed to see a woman matching her description lurking near schools and alleyways. Children were so terrified that they refused to walk home alone, and schools often sent teachers to escort their students. Today, Kokusei Kana has become a symbol of Japanese horror, inspiring movies, books, and urban legends. While some dismiss her as a mere myth, others swear they've seen her, their encounters leaving them shaken to their core. The lesson behind the legend. Beyond the terror, the legend of Kokusei Kana serves as a cautionary tale. It reflects themes of vanity, betrayal, and vengeance, warning people of the consequences of cruelty and superficiality. But for those who walk alone at night in Japan, her story is more than just a moral lesson. It's a chilling reminder to always beware of the shadows. Conclusion. The slit-mouthed woman may just be a ghost story, but like all legends, it carries an unsettling truth. Sometimes, the most beautiful things can hide the most horrifying secrets. Would you answer her question? Or would you run? Either way, the next time you walk down a quiet street at night, remember, you might not be alone. La Llorona, the weeping woman of Latin America. In the still of the night, near quiet rivers and shadowed lakes, a mournful wail echoes through the air. Mis hijos, where are my children? This chilling cry belongs to La Llorona, the weeping woman, one of Latin America's most haunting legends. The story of La Llorona has been passed down for centuries, told by elders to warn children about the dangers of wandering too far from home. But this isn't just a cautionary tale. Many believe she is real. Her story begins long ago with a young woman named Maria. Known for her beauty, Maria captured the heart of a wealthy nobleman. Together, they had 2 children, and for a time, they seemed to have the perfect life. But happiness turned to despair. Maria discovered her husband's betrayal. He had fallen in love with another woman. Overcome with rage and sorrow, Maria did the unthinkable. In a moment of madness, she took her children to the river and drowned them. When the gravity of her actions struck her, Maria was consumed by guilt. She threw herself into the water, joining her children in death. But death brought no peace. Legend says Maria's spirit was cursed to roam the earth, forever searching for her lost children. Dressed in a tattered white gown, her weeping echoes through the night, sending chills down the spines of anyone who hears it. Across Latin America, countless stories have been told of those who've encountered her. Witnesses describe a ghostly woman with hollow eyes, her cries growing louder as she approaches. Many believe that if you hear her wails, it's already too late. Beware of the rivers at night, for La Llorona is said to mistake wandering children for her own. Her grief has turned to vengeance, and she won't stop until she finds what she's searching for. While some believe La Llorona is just a myth, others argue she's a manifestation of guilt, sorrow, and the consequences of heartbreak. But one thing is certain, her legend continues to terrify those who dare to listen. Do you hear that? It's her, La Llorona,
Pray she doesn't call your name.
In the vast and unforgiving deserts of the American Southwest, there lies a chilling tale that has haunted the region for generations. A story of a creature so bizarre, so terrifying, it left hardened cowboys and settlers trembling in fear. This is the legend of the Red Ghost. It all began in 1883, near the desolate mining town of Eagle Creek, Arizona. A group of settlers awoke to a blood-curdling scream. Emerging from their tents, they found the mutilated body of a woman. The only clue? Gigantic, cloven hoof prints pressed deep into the sand. The whispers began. Was it a demon? A cursed beast? Or something worse? The sightings started soon after. Ranchers spoke of a monstrous, towering figure with fiery red fur and glowing eyes. Perched on its back was a horrifying passenger, a skeletal figure strapped tightly to the beast. Together, they roamed the desert, bringing chaos wherever they went. They called it the Red Ghost. As the legend grew, so did the fear. In one encounter, a farmer claimed he saw the beast charge through his field, trampling his crops. He fired his rifle, but the creature vanished into the night, leaving only a trail of destruction. But here's where the story takes an even stranger turn. A cowboy stumbled upon the ghostly figure one fateful night. As it charged, he stood his ground, rifle in hand. He aimed, he fired, and as the beast fell, the horrifying truth was revealed. The Red Ghost was no ghost at all. It was a feral camel.
But what about the skeletal rider? It was discovered to be the remains of a U.S. soldier lashed to the camel's back, a remnant of a failed military experiment during the 1850s when camels were imported to traverse the desert.
The soldier had likely been abandoned, left to die, his fate sealed by the relentless desert and the beast he was tied to. Over time, the camel became feral, wandering the wilderness, dragging its ghostly burden.
The Red Ghost may have been killed, but its legend lives on. Even today, some claim to hear its distant wails in the Arizona night, a reminder that even the harshest truths can spawn the most chilling legends. Beware the desert, for some ghosts never truly die.
Black Monk of Pontefract, England. In the heart of Yorkshire, England, lies a quiet, unassuming town named Pontefract. But beneath its serene exterior lurks a tale so dark, it has sent shivers down the spines of countless visitors. This is the story of the Black Monk, one of England's most terrifying hauntings. It all began in the late 1960s when the Pritchard family moved into their modest home at 30 East Drive. What they thought would be a fresh start soon became their worst nightmare. Unexplainable events started small, lights flickering, objects moving on their own, but quickly escalated to something far more sinister. The entity haunting the house became known as the Black Monk of Pontefract. Legend has it that centuries ago, a monk was executed near this very site for heinous crimes. His restless spirit, fueled by anger and revenge, is said to haunt the property to this day. The Pritchards experienced horrors no family should endure. Green foam would ooze from the faucets. Heavy furniture was thrown across rooms as if by an invisible force, and worst of all, a dark figure, cloaked and hooded, was often spotted lurking in the shadows. It wasn't long before they realized they were dealing with something evil. The most chilling moment came when the family's teenage daughter, Diane, became the target of the monk's wrath. She was dragged up the stairs by her hair, leaving claw marks on her neck. Witnesses reported seeing a sinister figure standing over her, watching. Paranormal investigators have since flocked to 30 East Drive, eager to unravel the mystery. Many have reported chilling encounters, whispers in empty rooms, sudden temperature drops, and even sightings of the infamous Black Monk. Could this spirit truly be the vengeful monk, or is there something even darker at play? To this day, 30 East Drive remains one of England's most notorious haunted locations. Visitors claim to feel an overwhelming sense of dread, as though the Black Monk himself is watching. Would you dare to step inside? Some say the Black Monk still roams, waiting for his next victim. What do you believe? The Legend of the Headless Horseman, United States. In the misty valleys and shadowy forests of early America, a tale emerged that still sends shivers down spines. A tale of fear, vengeance, and an eerie rider who roams the night without a head. This is the legend of the Headless Horseman. Scene 1A, the origins of the legend. It all began in the quiet village of Sleepy Hollow, nestled in the heart of New York. During the Revolutionary War, a Hessian soldier met a gruesome end on the battlefield. A cannonball severed his head, leaving his body to be buried in an unmarked grave. But that was not the end of his story. They say his restless spirit rises each night, searching for his lost head and his next victim. The Headless Horseman is no ordinary ghost. Cloaked in a dark cape, he rides a massive black steed that snorts fire and thunder. With his sword gleaming under the pale moonlight, he gallops through the woods, his terrifying presence freezing the blood of anyone who dares to cross his path. One fateful night, a young schoolmaster named Ichabod Crane became the horseman's prey. Returning from a harvest festival, Ichabod rode through the dense woods of Sleepy Hollow. The air grew colder, and an unsettling silence fell. Suddenly, he heard the thunder of hooves. He turned, and there he was, the Headless Horseman, holding a glowing jack-o'-lantern in place of his head, charging toward him with unrelenting fury. Ichabod rode for his life, his heart pounding as the horseman closed in. The legend says that at the old bridge near the church, the horseman hurled his fiery pumpkin head straight at Ichabod. The next morning, only Ichabod's hat and shattered pumpkin pieces were found. His body? Never seen again. To this day, some say the Headless Horseman continues his nightly ride, a spectral figure trapped between the realms of the living and the dead. Is he searching for his head, or simply for his next victim?
Beware. If you find yourself in Sleepy Hollow at night, you might just hear the galloping hooves in the distance, drawing closer and closer.
The legend of the Headless Horseman has captured imaginations for centuries, inspiring stories, films, and nightmares alike. But tell me, would you dare to venture into the haunted woods of Sleepy Hollow after dark? Because you never know when the Headless Horseman might ride again. This is one legend you won't soon forget. The Highway Ghost, Malaysia. On the long, winding highways of Malaysia, where dense jungles cast dark shadows and the night stretches endlessly, a sinister tale persists. Drivers speak in hushed tones of an entity, an apparition that haunts these roads. Some call it a lost soul, others a harbinger of doom. This is the chilling legend of the Highway Ghost. It often starts with a faint figure by the roadside. A woman dressed in white, her long black hair cascading down her pale face. Drivers slow down, unsure whether to stop or drive past. But those who stop rarely tell the tale. They say her face is eerily blank, her eyes hollow pits of darkness, and as she approaches, a cold chill seeps into the air. Then, she disappears, not back to the roadside, but into the back seat of your car. The legend warns of dire consequences. If you see her, you must never offer her a ride. Those who do vanish without a trace, their abandoned cars discovered days later with no sign of struggle or escape.
But even if you drive past her, the danger isn't over. The ghost is said to follow her victims home, haunting their dreams and turning their lives into nightmares. She is a relentless spirit bound to the road, seeking company in her eternal solitude.
Where did she come from? Some say she was a bride on her way to her wedding, killed in a tragic car crash. Others believe she was a victim of a hit and run, left to die alone on the highway. Her grief and anger anchor her to this realm, forever wandering the asphalt in search of justice or revenge.
Her presence is strongest on stormy nights. Drivers report seeing her reflection in their rearview mirrors, her face slowly turning toward them, only to vanish when they blink.
In Malaysia, the legend of the highway ghost has given rise to superstitions. Drivers keep talismans, burn incense, or avoid traveling at night altogether. Some even leave an empty seat in their car, believing it will appease her restless spirit.
But nothing guarantees safety. She chooses her victims, and once chosen, there's no escape.
So, the next time you find yourself driving down a dark highway in Malaysia, stay alert. Watch the edges of the road. And if you see a woman in white, keep driving. Because once she notices you, her haunting eyes might never leave you. And remember, the highway ghost is always waiting. The legend of the bogeyman, bagman. In every corner of the world, there exists a name that sends shivers down the spines of children and adults alike. A shadowy figure, an ominous presence, whispered about in the darkest hours of the night. Some call him the bagman, others know him as the bogeyman. A universal nightmare whose name alone can make even the bravest shudder. But who or what is the bogeyman? Let's uncover the chilling origins of this global legend. The bogeyman, or as he's called in various languages, El Coco, Le Croque-Mitaine, Der Schwarzmann, has no single origin. Instead, he emerges from the collective fears of humanity. In Spain, he's the Coco, a faceless monster hiding in the dark. In Germany, the Black Man is said to snatch disobedient children. And in some Native American tales, he takes the form of a shadow that follows you until it swallows your soul. This figure transcends cultures, each version uniquely terrifying yet universally dreaded. In many cultures, the bogeyman is not just a monster but a lesson. Parents use his legend to keep children in line. Finish your meal, or the bagman will take you, they warn. In parts of South America, he carries a sack to kidnap misbehaving children. In the Middle East, he is a shapeshifter, lurking in closets or under beds, waiting for the moment a child refuses to sleep. The bogeyman's role is clear. He enforces obedience through fear. While the bogeyman's image varies, the fear he instills remains consistent. In Greece, there's the babullas, a beast who devours naughty children. In the Philippines, the Puget waits in the shadows, headless but relentless in his hunt. And in Haiti, the Tonton Macoute, a man with a sack, is feared not just as folklore but as a symbol of real terror. The bogeyman adapts, reflecting the unique fears of each society. Legends often have roots in reality. Could the bogeyman be based on real people or events? Serial killers, kidnappers, and other figures of fear throughout history may have inspired the tales. For some, he's a metaphor for our darkest thoughts. For others, he's an entity that thrives on fear itself, growing stronger the more we believe in him. So, is he real? Or is he simply the embodiment of our own nightmares? The bogeyman may take different shapes and names, but his purpose is universal: to remind us of the shadows that lurk, the dangers we can't see, and the fears we can't explain. Tonight, as you close your eyes, remember, he might just be watching, waiting, hiding. Because every culture knows this truth: the bogeyman is never far away. If you enjoyed these chilling legends, let us know in the comments. Which one scared you the most? Do you have local legends you'd like us to cover? We're excited to hear your thoughts and stories. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to keep the horror alive in your day.